Mark Evans, Branch Secretary, Carmarthenshire County, Unison, talking on about the schools returning, reopening rather, today. Our branch have stated for the record that we think it's reckless and dangerous for schools to reopen at this time. Testing is still taking far too long, the results of testing taking far too long, and the R rate, the infection rate, still remains dangerously high. Why on earth would you risk your children's health, your family's health and your community's health for, as what Kirsty Williams described as, a catch-up and check-in? For possibly, by the way, 2 or 3 sessions at school in the 3 weeks that are left. Why would you do that? And we have raised with the local authority, why don't they ask to take the temperatures of children and staff at the start of the day, of course purely voluntarily. That would be another element of trying to reduce risk. Clearly, if someone came to school with a temperature, then they shouldn't be there. And we think, unfortunately, that the reopening of schools today could easily end up with a Leicester situation, with another lockdown, or similar to what has happened in other countries when they have reopened schools. And our branch was clear from the day that Kirsty Williams announced, without agreement with the unions, announced that schools would reopen on the 29th, that we opposed that. Now, many children, as our members will know from today, many parents will not send their children to school. I think only 40% of parents responded to the local authority that they would be returning their children to school, and I would predict that the figures are less than that, because parents have done their own risk assessment and will have concluded that it's not safe for their children to return. The risks outweigh the benefits, and we all want our children back in school. All our members want children back in school. Children, by and large, want to be back in school. They want to be with their friends. They want to be receiving an education and socialising. But not, we have to make decisions, and parents have to make decisions for their children, not when it puts their health at risk. Our branch has opposed, as I say, the premature and reckless reopening of schools because it puts our members' health at risk. And we have asked for risk assessments from each school. We've written to each head teacher that they be provided by today, but a fraction, I think less than a quarter of schools have responded, and less than half of these have actually provided an actual risk assessment. Sometimes they just provide a letter that the local authority have given them, by the way, a letter to send to Unison, because we've been in the forefront of opposing this premature return of schools. So we either get a letter, or in some cases a checklist. But again, a checklist isn't a risk assessment. And what we want to say to members is, have you seen the risk assessment for your school? Because you're entitled to see it. If you haven't seen it, then you should ask to see it. And really shouldn't be in work if you haven't seen that risk assessment, because you need to see it, because that's about your safety and people's safety. The reality is schools were not given enough time to prepare for a return, for a reopening of schools. And even with limited numbers of children in school, we believe that social distancing will not be able to be maintained. Now, we want to hear from you how it went today, how it goes tomorrow, etc. We want to hear about how it goes in your school, the school that you work in. What are your concerns? Has it gone well? Has it not gone well? What about the cleaning? Have you got, there's 2 cleaners for a comprehensive, 1 for a primary school. Is that enough to keep the school clean while you're working in it. As I say, ask to see the risk assessment, send it to us, because we haven't been sent a lot of risk assessments. And ultimately, do you feel at risk? Because there is things you can do about that, and we put that out to Section 44 of the Employment Rights Act. You can act on that if you feel at risk, but give us a ring in the branch about that. So get in touch, come to the Zoom meeting that we're holding tomorrow at 4:30. Now, if you enjoyed this video, the content, perhaps at least, then you need to click on the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, ring the little bell, ding-a-ling, right, to subscribe, and the link for our website, Facebook and Twitter is Carmarthenshire with a capital C .unison.site. Thank you for listening, and like I say, we want to hear from you, because your health and safety is important to us and to you. Thank you.